Oh, rock and roll, huh?
I guess so. Speaking of rock and roll, last week was the 10th anniversary of the Sega Dreamcast.
All right.
Let's roll with it.
All right. Rocking and rolling with it.
Very good. If you didn't catch it, we put up 9 quick looks on 9909, 10 years to the day. Where was I going with this?
Check it out.
I just wanted to, we didn't talk about any of this Dreamcast stuff last week, and we spent a fair amount of time kind of producing these things. I have to say, I was a little surprised at how well some of these games held up.
Some.
Okay, so Sonic Adventure did not hold up particularly well.
I think everyone knew that at this point, though.
Yeah, like, considering that
game didn't hold up like a year after it came out.
That game was very literally the beginning of the end for Sonic the Hedgehog. That's like where all of the bad ideas for Sonic games were first born, and now...
they made some pretty bad attempts on the Saturn. Like, they made some Sonic 3D Blast.
They made some bad Sonic games then, but
that was like the death knell. That was like, oh, it's over.
But that was like the Saturn stuff was them trying to figure out, like, how do we make this 3D game? Yeah. And then this was them like saying, here's how we make this 3D game. And they've basically remade that game in some capacity.
Like Sonic R is 10 times the game that Sonic Adventure will ever be.
With 100 times the soundtrack.
Exactly.
So yeah, that one wasn't.
Super
I mean, it still
Sonic
had
Racing.
The whales, the killer whale set piece stuff, like the sense of speed, that stuff still seems pretty neat. But it's when you're actually playing Sonic Adventure, not so great.
Well, what tops your list of stuff that does hold up?
I think that Virtua Tennis holds up terrifically.
Yeah, that's what I would say.
Typing of the Dead.
I think Typing of the Dead
my favorite.
Is destructively awesome. That's probably the one that I'm most happy that we did. Most of the games that we did were pretty recognizable. A lot of first party stuff, almost exclusively first party Sega stuff. But
we still have all that stuff here. One of these days, I'm gonna do that Capcom vs SNK 2 quick look.
Sure. I feel like Typing of the Dead was the most unknown of the games that we did, even amongst Dreamcast fans, because that came out pretty late in the Dreamcast life cycle.
Yeah.
Even though the Dreamcast life cycle was about a year and a half. It was there around the end, so I feel like a lot of people maybe didn't see that. And that game is awesome if you have a Dreamcast keyboard.
A lot of fun. Choo Choo Rocket was fun.
Yeah, I rediscovered how much fun that was. I wish they'd put that out on something. I don't know. I haven't decided what is the appropriate venue yet for Choo Choo Rocket. But Live Arcade or DS.
They did a Game Boy Advance Choo Choo Rocket.
Yeah, they did.
But I can't imagine that would be quite as... Because you need to have those 4 face buttons for that to really work properly.
Yeah.
Yeah, Choo Choo Rocket I thought still held up quite well, and Vinny, you agree that it was your first experience with Power Stone 2, but you had fun with the ridiculousness of Power Stone 2.
I did. I think for me, Power Stone 2 was more of a kind of like seeing the origins of things that were to come after that. Like being like, oh man, this was doing this way before these other games were doing this, and everything else is just a ripoff of this.
Dreamcast, that was first system that had 4 controller ports built in.
N64.
Right.
Totally had 4. So yeah,
it did have 4.
Yeah, and I think the first Smash Brothers came out before Power Stone.
First Smash Brothers came out before the first. Do you know what? I saw both of those. I saw both Power Stone and Smash Brothers at the same E3.
Huh. All right.
Like, I think they were contemporaries, and I remember being furious about everyone being excited about Smash Brothers because I felt that the action in Power Stone was much more interesting than the 2D stuff.
Yeah, man, that first Smash Brothers was awesome though. When it was pure.
Pure Smash.
Back before people tried to take it seriously.
It's just this dumb game.
Yeah.
It's like, and you're like, this is pretty good for such a dumb game. It's awesome, in fact.
Crazy Taxi didn't hold up so well.
Oh, that's a shame.
Yeah.
Shenmue.
Oh.
Shenmue, I will straight up, next endurance run is Shenmue.
Oh.
I will
there you
play.
Go, Jeff.
Have fun.
Yeah.
Enjoy.
See you guys.
I will not. That's going to be you guys.
Oh, man.
Have a good
That's
time.
got to be you guys, because I refuse to sit and watch any Shenmue be played.
Like, we only played maybe a half hour of it for the quick look, and I Like, we got nothing that even resembled like fun in that quick look.
So then you experience
or
Shenmue
interactivity.
basically.
But it made
as
me want to
works.
play more of it. It made me want to play more of it. I don't know. I can't describe it. There is something about.
There's one fun part of Shenmue, and it's the part where you're playing Space Harrier.
I just enjoy, like, conceptually, that game is really interesting to me, just because it focuses on just a super mundane life, and it tries to depict it as straightforward and, you know, realistically and without any irony at all as it possibly can. And yeah, I don't know, not good, you know, overambitious, and it definitely doesn't accomplish a lot of the things that it's trying to do. But I don't know,
Shenmue 1 and 2.
I didn't come away from that going, oh god, thank God I'm not playing Shenmue anymore. And it also makes me think, okay, yeah, this game
There's so few
wasn't
games I feel
brilliant.
like you put down, you're like, wow, I was having
in
a
its
good
day,
life.
Shenmue felt like a scam to me. Like they were trying to trick people, and they did.
They tricked
Like
very
watching,
few people.
like messing with, like playing that game and watching other people play that game, and all this stuff. I'm like, how are you being fooled by this? Like, how are you letting this game? Oh, it was so frustrating. Like
And-
watching people fawn all over that thing.
Yeah, it's not worth fawning over, but I still think it's extremely interesting. Like, I never thought that it was brilliant. Like, I played through it when it came out and thought, okay, that was long and parts of it were incredibly tedious, but
Shenmue.
also, you know, yeah, at the time there was the graphical issue that doesn't really hold up anymore, which was that it looked fucking awesome. People's faces in that game looked crazy.
Yeah.
What else do we play? Yeah, Crazy Taxi not holding up so well.
Samba.
Jet Grind Radio made me kind of want to go
yeah.
and play Jet Set Radio Future, because Jet Set Radio Future was a way better version of Jet Grind Radio. But still, like you were saying, Vinny, it's, hey, remember when you thought that rollerblades were from the future?
Yeah. They're not anymore.
No.
Now they're
It's like
dated.
rollerblades and compact discs.
Yeah.
That's how you signify the future.
Gonna
That's
jump
right.
up and collect this spinning CD.
On my rollerblades. Yes, Samba de Amigo.
That was a weird one.
That is a
Still
weird one.
awesome.
Yeah. Like 5 songs
Still
in there.
conceptually awesome with 5 songs and
5 songs and
and like the worst motion controls ever.
an entire rhythm game.
It had more than 5 songs.
Really?
Had like 6 songs,
No, different modes had different song lists.
but there was like there
10
weren't that
songs.
many songs.
You could download like 8 or 10 songs.
They
or
were just
something, too.
unlock codes. Those weren't actual downloads.
I know, but you had to get on and download them to your VMU or something. Then you could play Supersonic Racing.
Yes, the songs that you could download that were from other Sega games.
Yeah. You know, hot license jams. Whatever, it had that Livin' La Vida Loca song in it.
It did, and it also had that other Ricky Martin song. Do you know he's gay?
What?
There was also Chumbawamba.
Yeah, all the hits. Whatever, it has that. It has it has Samba de Janeiro.
It's
in it.
got Samba
Like,
de
that's the
Janeiro,
ones-
and it's got Ritmo Tropical, and yeah, those are the 2 Samba de Amigo songs. I'm just saying, like, that is another visionary, like crazy motion controls that game has.
Yeah.
As busted as they are, that's forward
They were
looking.
like super busted. Like I was taller than I think they planned for.
Yes, you are. They're like 5'9". It's like if you're 5'9" or above, I guess good luck.
yeah, and it was like the Japanese version. I think was even worse.
Yeah.
in terms of like how it handled height. So it was just like, for me to get the high sensors, I was basically holding them straight out, and then it was like 2 levels of down.
Yeah. And then just like the fact that the sensors dangle off the maracas controller.
Yep.
So that when you have to move really quickly, which you have to do a lot because it's a pretty fast-paced rhythm game, then it messes up and doesn't read it correctly, and then you fail.
You gotta use the mat. That was your big mistake.
Maybe that was the problem.
Oh,
I didn't
you
use the mat. I didn't use the mat. And that was also like a crazy expensive setup. Like the game was $50, and like one set of maracas controller was like $80. So you're talking
Back in the day.
130
The
bone.
day. Yeah. The party.
Although I guess, $120 for DJ Hero don't look so bad now, does it?
Guess not.
Think about that.
That's got more than 6 songs in it.
It certainly does. Yeah, the game, Someday Maybe doesn't have a lot of songs in it, but it is also totally insane. That monkey is crazy.
That monkey's flipping out.
Monkey's kind of scary.
Yeah.
He is. And everything. The sun in that game is flipping out.
Yeah.
On the sun!
Playing all those Dreamcast games made me do pretty much like once every, let's say, 18 months or so, I go look in on Phantasy Star Online private servers just to see if they're still running, if there's someone out there. And sure enough, there's someone out there running a private server that you can connect to with like the GameCube version or the Dreamcast version or 2 of the PC versions.
Wow.
And every time I look at it and go, dude, I should do this, and then never do.
If I still had my... I sold off my LAN adapter a long time ago for my Dreamcast, back when there was a premium on that dumb stuff. So I can't even get online, but I would totally play some PSO with you.
I'd probably just, you can just download the PC client for free. It's
not really the same, though. Definitely want to... I don't know, there's things about the Dreamcast that was a very...
I remember sitting in that hotel room in LA writing those episodes of that G4 show. And while we were doing that, I was playing PSO on the PC. Like it had just come out on the PC.
Yes, that's right.
Or Blue Burst. It was like the last. It was like an updated version or something like that.
That's right.
I was like, yeah, this game's not bad. This game's still alright. I don't want to pay a monthly fee for it, but
I remember how thoroughly they crapped up PSO like so quickly that they just ruined
it was just a business model thing. That game was not good enough to pay a monthly fee.
But then you remember like three with the card shit.
Oh well, yeah, that was just stupid.
PSO CARD.
Yeah.
But in a lot of ways, I feel like the Dreamcast was the first like really modern console with built-in internet connectivity, and you said the N64 had 4 controller ports in it, but and then ridiculous shit like the goddamn VMUs, which was
right,
just like so crazy.
I guess a prototype Dreamcast zip drive was up on eBay a couple of years ago for $10,000.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, they had some crazy ideas for what. I mean, that thing ran Windows, dog.
Yeah, it was like Windows CE.
I think it said it right on the front.
Yeah,
powered by Windows CE.
So think about this: like if the Dreamcast had actually pulled it together and survived in that market, would there be an Xbox? Do you think that a Windows-powered machine being in the marketplace at that time, if it had lasted a full 5 years and maybe Sega had gone on to do something else, do you think Microsoft would have felt the need to get into the game so directly?
Well, they've always been a software company first, so if their stuff is running on a successful platform, then maybe not.
I don't know. But they also, have stated pretty clearly that they've always wanted to be in
set-top box.
Well, in the games business more.
Yeah.
So I don't know that would necessarily... It might have staved off their entry into it, but at the end, then how great would they have been? It's like we are the operating system for this successful system, and we also have our own box that's totally kick-ass.
I think the minute they put out their own box, Sega would stop running Windows on their machines.
Well, they'd have to...
They would have come out, like, whatever the next generation of Sega hardware would have not been built on that anymore.
Therein lies the problem with the Sega model. Is being dependent on stuff like Microsoft for operating systems. Well, that was the first system that had like a real dashboard kind of experience. Like all the shit that was in there.
PlayStation had it.
I guess the PlayStation had it. All right. Well, Dreamcast fucking sucks. No wonder it's dead.
I mean, the Sega CD
Moving on.
had a boot up screen
that said Sega CD.
Yeah. You
Didn't
get like an audio CD player.
It had like a web browser in it, man. You browse the internet on your Dreamcast.
Well, it wasn't in it. It was on a disc.
No, it was...
You had a web browser disc, and then they came out with updated, different web browser discs.
It's true. I've got the disc.
Do you?
Yes.
Bring that in. Browse the web.
Okay.
Look for a device that can get on the internet. Finally. Get on the World Wide Web with. It was a great web browser also.
Yeah, real quality.
See if it loads our site.
It would download. The nice thing about it is it could download stuff directly to VMU. So you could just go to like Dreamcast save file sites.
Right.
Oh, wow.
And just download that stuff directly.
Oh, wow. Wow. We'll miss you by Dreamcast.
You never had a Dreamcast.
Nope.
What was your thoughts on seeing all this stuff? Because I imagine you didn't have a ton of exposure to these games when they...
it's weird because a lot of these games have moved on from the Dreamcast to other iterations.
Certainly.
Things like Choo Choo and Samba, though, great. Yeah, seemed like it was more PlayStation than the PlayStation, and like more crazy Japanese than.
It was an amazing time for import games.
Oh, absolutely.
Like the original PlayStation and the Dreamcast period. There was just so much weird stuff coming out that never made it over here that it became worthwhile and for the first time actually affordable, because the problem with like the Super Nintendo era is that the internet was not in a place where it was easy for you to get a hold of those games. So like, the ads in the back of EGM wanted $100 for Street Fighter 2 and stuff like that. And you paid it because you had to.
That's what you did.
And that was just crazy. So it was like, mid 90s, the PlayStation comes out, and then the Dreamcast on the heels of that, like, you had stuff like NCS coming up, and, like mod chips started making it easier for you to play those games online, because it would, or easier to play those games because it would just boot up all these import discs. So you could just like go out and like, I'm going to go buy some weird ass Japanese games.
Just try it
and see how it goes.
First PlayStation game I ever had was a Japanese copy of Bushido Blade. That game's mad Japanese.
Dude, yeah. I mean, that came over. That and Bushido Blade 2 both came over.
That eventually came over.
But there's just so much weird, and there's plenty of weird PS2 stuff too. But man, that original PlayStation, just the level of fucked up shit that came out on that, and then like the Tokyo Bus Guide,
The
Dreamcast. It's like you got to be at the stop on time, not too early, not too late. Go. Like, this game sucks. That's not the point.
You're missing the idea.
Yeah.
Japan falling off. You gotta get back on your game, Japan.
Well, the thing is anything that comes out in Japan that has half a shot of being any good at all comes over here. I mean, Raiden 4 was just released.
I don't want to be good.
Sake.
I want to be crazy.
I know, exactly. Like, the
problem is that you're not seeing, like, even out there, it doesn't seem like, I don't know, Japan's brand of crazies, it's not as strong as it used to be.
I think we're more attuned to it now.
Desensitized.
Yeah, like the internet has made that stuff a little less special.
Yeah, I guess.
And it's probably just like a factor of the way the market has changed, because it's like you have Capcom, it's like these companies are out there trying to make worldwide hits.
Yeah.
They're not out there making the games that they know sell in their market, and if it happens to do well in whatever other country, then great. They're thinking globally with all these games now.
There's no excuse not to bring Typing of the Dead to some other platform besides the PC. Like, that is, all these current systems have USB ports. They'll take a keyboard, just put it up there.
I mean, that's a Typing of the Dead is a brilliant example of how crazy Sega was and why the Dreamcast was completely doomed. Because they would go and put out a keyboard for their system.
They should just put out Texting of the Dead for cell phones.
If the extraction guys are listening, just put a mode, plug in a keyboard, and like, weird words pop up over dead space. They'll love it.
That's your idea.
Not my idea.
No, but
I'm